So here's a list of some of the Slurm commands involved in reporting state information. sinfo is the command that reports the status of your nodes and queues. squeue reports the status of your jobs and job steps. smap reports the same sort of information as sinfo and squeue, but it uses a curses-based graphical user interface, and it shows the topology of your system. Sview is a newer version of smap, but it uses GTK, their GTK graphics library, and it also has some additional features, so you can create advanced reservations, delete advanced reservations, submit jobs, change a lot of system state information, and I'll show you what that looks like in a minute. scontrol is a system administrator tool used to view or update information about all those different entities. So here's an example of sinfo, and sinfo lets you format, filter, sort the information pretty much any way you want. So if you want any information about nodes or partitions in any format, it should be pretty easy to do that using sinfo. I'm not demonstrating the formatting or sorting capabilities here, but if you want information about nodes, sinfo -- nodes, and it prints out a node list, and it's broken out by partition here. If you want information about a particular partition, for example, sinfo -p, pdebug on the other line. If you want to get the information about your nodes or partitions but updated on a periodic basis, you could use a -i and then a timer. So -i60 will report state information every 60 seconds. You can use other options, so if you want information about nodes every 60 seconds, or no information about a particular partition every 30 seconds, or whatever, print it up on your screen, you can do that. squeue gives you information about your jobs or your job steps. So your example here is to print information about jobs in the queue belonging to a user Alec. That's what the -u is. And -t, that's a shorthand option for -- state, so jobs in any state. squeue can print information about job steps, and here I'm printing information about the job steps that are in the pdebug partition, and you get a list of the nodes that are involved. And like sinfo, you can get the information refreshed on a periodic basis, and it'll just keep running until you kill it. This is Sview on Cray, and the Cray has a 3D torus. The nodes here are represented by the circles, and depending on what version of GTK you have and how it's configured, it could be boxes or something else. But the important point here is that this shows you the relative locations of the nodes in 3D space. Each one of the planes here represents a single Y value. So your bottom plane here is Y0, and Y1 is the next plane, Y2, and so forth. Your X is going across from left to right, so X0, X1, X2, and your Z dimension is coming forward at an angle. So this is, I believe, 1,000 nodes on a Cray system. The scontrol command is designed for system administrator use, and it shows all of the fields about whatever entity you want, but there's no filtering or sorting or formatting options, so it's not particularly friendly for users necessarily, but for system administrator who wants to get all the information, this dumps all the information out. So for example, the information about partition debug here is printed, and then you can modify most of the fields for all the for the various entities. So job time limits or step time limits or partition time limits or sizes, and the output from the scontrol show command is used as input to the scontrol update command. You can just change whatever fields are of interest. So in the example shown here, I'm changing the maximum time limit to from unlimited to 60 minutes for the debug partition. Slurm has accounting available, and it accounts for the jobs and job steps. SAccount reports the information by individual job or job step. It's going out to the database and reading that information. SStat reports accounting information about the currently running jobs and job steps. The main difference between the SAccount and SStat is SStat is looking at information about the currently running job while it's there, so there's more information available. SReport gives you consolidated reports, so you can get information by user or cluster or partition or account in a fairly condensed fashion. So you might want information about which how many resources are being used on each cluster by account or by user. And SAccount and SStat don't do that. They're reporting information about individual jobs and job steps. So SReport is presenting the information in a more condensed fashion. Here's some examples of SAccount where you can filter the information by user or partition or account if you want. And again, it's going to be printing information about the individual jobs or job steps that satisfy those filters. So for Slurm scheduling, there are a number of tools to be aware of. There's SAccount Manager. That's your interface to the database, and you can use that to add and delete clusters, accounts, and users from the database, and get and set resource limits, preemption rules, and so forth. SPRIO will report the various factors that are used in computing a job's priority. So you can configure Slurm to prioritize jobs based upon their quality of service, how long they've been waiting in the queue, how over or under service they are relative to their fair share, and just a few other factors. SShare reports your current hierarchical fair share information, and SDiag is a new tool that was added in Slurm version 2.4 that prints statistics about the scheduling module operation. So how long it takes to run, your maximum queue length, how many jobs have been scheduled, and that type of information.